From faking being shot and dying in a drive-by, to acting like they are suffering from deadly illnesses, here are 8 different times when horrible YouTubers fake their deaths for views. Starting with one of, if not the worst, YouTubers that have ever been on the platform, JayStation. This man used to make many horrible and clickbait videos back in the late 2010s, ranging from breaking into people's homes, to acting like he was talking to dead celebrities via an Ouija board. So it's not surprising someone like this would end up faking a death for clout. With that being said, he didn't fake his own death, but rather his girlfriend's at the time. On January 21st, 2020, he posted a video titled, "My girlfriend Alexia died, rest in paradise," and he started it off acting like he was crying, saying her parents called him and informed him that she was dead. He then explains how he and his girlfriend had a YouTube channel together called The Dream Team, and her goal was to hit 1 million subscribers. He went on to say that he and her parents came to the conclusion that JayStation should post the rest of the videos that he filmed with his girlfriend onto that channel out of respect for her. Basically, this entire video was to plug their YouTube channel, and to everyone's surprise, his girlfriend was not actually dead. Shocker. With that being said, JayStation posted another video milking this situation a day later titled, "Saying My Last Goodbye to My Girlfriend Alexia," in which he supposedly visits the place where she died and has a fake breakdown. He explained how she had died in a car accident with a drunk driver, and this is obviously such a horrible thing to lie about, especially just for more subscribers on YouTube. JayStation was without a doubt one of the most deplorable people to ever have relevancy on this platform, and thankfully his channel is no longer around today, as he on a consistent basis would profit off of lying, manipulating, and also anything involving the dead, whether it was real or fake. The next YouTuber we talk about isn't necessarily as bad of a person as JayStation was, but he really isn't very far behind. Neon is a YouTuber turned kick streamer who started off making videos on the game NBA 2K back when he was only around 12 years old. His first videos were very wholesome, but as time went on, he realized the more he clickbaited and acted toxic, the more views he would gain. This ultimately led to him faking his own death at the end of 2019. He uploaded a series of videos, with the first one being titled "Neon is Dying," and in this video, his younger brother claimed that Neon has been having 3 to 5 seizures per day, and he has a brain tumor that cannot be removed, which will eventually result in Neon's death. One day later, Neon uploaded a video of him supposedly saying his final goodbye.
Pray for me if you and your parents, bro. I love you guys so much. And that's it for this video. Neon's final words. I love you guys so much.
This was very saddening if you're like 8 years old, but the majority of people that stumbled on this video obviously could tell that this was indeed not true. With that being said, he continued on with the lie, and the next video that was uploaded on this channel was called "He's Gone," featuring Neon's brother in the thumbnail crying. This video featured memorable moments from Neon's YouTube career, with sad music playing in the background, and then the final video, called "I'm Alive," was of Neon explaining he did not pass away, and that the doctors managed to save his life.
This is like actual serious stuff that you should not be joking around about. And everyone who kept me in their prayers, everyone who was hoping that I made it through it, I love you guys so much. I'm here to say I'm alive.
This video was very badly received, even compared to the last ones, as the few 8-year-olds that Neon may have managed to trick into believing he was actually dying now realized they were being lied to. These videos managed to pull in a lot more views compared to what he would get on his other videos, and although he would eventually delete them, he used this technique of clickbaiting and faking things in the future to gain more viewership, with the most popular video on his channel currently being about him faking running away from home. Now, this stunt, as well as most of the others where he faked things like this, took place back whenever he was a kid, so some of these actions can be excused, but the person he ended up becoming later on was not much better, and honestly way worse, which is why Neon is one of the most controversial YouTubers still on the platform. Moving on to a YouTuber who was somehow very well received, even after faking their death, we have Sketchek. Sketchek was a Team Fortress 2 professional player who made numerous YouTube videos showcasing his skill in the game. He was a beloved member of the community that not only inspired many other players, but even received a weapon attribute in the game by the developers in memory of his time as a player. He received a huge wave of support and love from this community whenever he released a video on June 30th, 2015 that explained he had been suffering from a long-term illness. In this video, he says that he had little to no time to play TF2 recently, and that his doctors are saying he probably doesn't have much time left to live. He ended the video off by saying he was going to quit playing video games and leave YouTube altogether so he can enjoy the time he has left before he passes. Many fans of his were of course heartbroken to hear this news, with Sketchek Sketchek receiving thousands of messages in support of him. After Sketchek's video was posted, he still released multiple other videos afterwards, which led to some people being skeptical of his mysterious illness, since he literally just claimed he was leaving YouTube and gaming entirely. With that being said, most of his viewers were happy to still see content being posted from him, but on November 1st, 2015, he made another video following up from his previous announcement, explaining how this will be his final goodbye and will be the last time anyone ever hears from him. As the years went on, he was indeed not heard from again, and many members of the community found it safe to say he had unfortunately passed away. That is until a couple of years later, when the videos describing his illness were set to private. Not long after, a player with the name Sketchek, and even having the same profile picture as him, was seen playing TF2 by many different players. Lo and behold, this ended up being the real Sketchek, and players figured this out when they added his account on Steam, with Sketchek sending them a mysterious link that would bring them to a video on his channel from 2015. In the tags of this video was a link to another unlisted video that had cryptic Japanese text. Sketchek would then send other mysterious links with different variations of cryptic Japanese text on Twitter to other users, and shortly after these links started circulating around, Sketchek posted a tweet saying, "Unfreeze the watermelon, then everything will be understood," with an image of a watermelon and ice drawn over it. A user ended up posting this image into WinRAR, which would then send them to a link that required a password. Once this password was entered, a pastebin link was revealed with binary text that translated to an unlisted YouTube video claiming Sketchek would be returning to YouTube soon. Sketchek then posted on Twitter in 2019 saying, "Kept you waiting, huh?" and then posting a video on YouTube shortly after, with Sketchek explaining he never had an illness in the first place, and it was all just a quote-unquote sick joke. He then explained what really happened was that he came to the realization that video games ruined his life, and he wanted to quit them entirely and go out with a bang, which is why he ended up faking his death. He then explained how he came to the conclusion 4 years later that he actually wanted to return to playing video games and making videos. This of course was met with a lot of pushback, and although some members of the community were happy to see he was back, especially since he was such a great player, a lot of people felt betrayed. Despite the backlash he received, he gained substantially more viewers because of this stunt when he started posting videos again. He currently sits at 90,000 subscribers, although he hasn't posted a video for over 3 years now. With all of that being said, Sketchek somehow managed to hold a somewhat positive view from his community after his fake death, but that is definitely not the case for this next YouTuber. Yao Cabrera is one of the most notorious South American YouTubers with over 6.5 million subscribers, and years ago, he used to get millions of views per video. With that being said, these videos weren't very good whatsoever, and you can tell that just by looking at the thumbnails of them. He was one of those clickbait social experiment prank channels that would often harass the public and fake content overall. He was no doubt one of the most controversial creators on the platform, but all of that is not very important right now. What is important is that in December of 2020, there was a video posted on social media depicting Yao being shot by a man on a motorcycle while he was driving his car. Another video showcased the aftermath of this staged shooting, with a fake ambulance on the scene and Yao's loved ones in distress, crying and freaking out because he is supposedly dead in the car. This news was met with a lot of skepticism, as Yao had faked many things in the past, but nonetheless, many people believed it to be true, with some fans even attending a fan gathering in remembrance of Yao, which was advertised by his social media team. Unfortunately for Yao, the legitimacy of this fake video was quickly exposed by someone who had recorded it from another POV, showcasing the gunman having to redo the take multiple times. With that being said, even though many people online were not fooled, law enforcement ended up getting involved, which resulted in Yao's arrest not long after for hosting illegal parties during the COVID-19 pandemic, in which people were supposed to be in quarantine for. Shortly after his fake death, his relevance dropped dramatically, and now he is not talked about whatsoever, so I guess you could say altogether he didn't actually die in real life, but his YouTube career definitely did. Speaking of YouTubers who somewhat fell off, it is time to talk about the legendary Dobre Twins. Although the Dobre Twins have a whopping 36 million subscribers and still receive hundreds of thousands to millions of views per video, they are definitely not getting the viewership that they used to near the height of their career many years ago. Anyways, on January 9th, 2022, they uploaded a video titled "My Twin Brother is Dead," which showcases one of the twins, Lucas, opening a letter from his brother Marcus. In this letter, Marcus states that he wants Lucas to read it out loud for YouTube, and writes that he has taken his own life. The rest of the video follows Lucas looking around for Marcus with his loved ones, acting like they are trying to figure out if he actually ended his life.
Alright, well, I can tell you one thing. If someone's buried under there, the grass is gonna feel kind of like smushy, and it doesn't really feel smushy at all.
No.
You think he's dead?
Obviously, you can tell from the few seconds of this video that I just showed, these guys are not the brightest out there, and their viewers are no doubt very, very young. This fact makes this even more disturbing, as there were probably thousands of young, impressionable children genuinely believing that someone they so dearly looked up to has taken their own life. This is obviously a very touchy subject, and it is not something that should be joked about, especially to young children, but unfortunately, that is exactly what occurred. The video ends off with Marcus claiming that he did not take his life, and that he is in fact alive, stating that he just wanted to prank his family. Now, this video wasn't originally controversial to the Dobre Twins' core audience, but as the video got pushed out to people who don't watch them, they ended up receiving a lot of backlash, with the comments now filled with disapproval of their actions. For the Dobre Twins, this was just another silly video, and it had little to no effect on their career since their core audience didn't really grasp the weight on how bad lying about something like this is, and they continued posting videos as if nothing happened. Now, this next guy I will speak about definitely didn't have a following anywhere near as large as the Dobre Twins, but he did have around 160,000 followers on TikTok, and this situation is just so disgusting. David Baerten was a 45-year-old Belgian TikToker, and he, his wife, and children all thought it would be a great idea if he faked his death and had it posted on TikTok in the summer of 2023. They framed it as if he took his own life, and the goal was to see if any of his family members would have actually cared about him dying. Apparently, David felt as if his family didn't appreciate him enough, so he was hoping he would finally get them to pay attention through a drastic measure like this one. Originally, David was not going to include his immediate family members either, and he wanted to trick them as well, but the film crew he hired claimed to have not wanted to be a part of this if they were involved. Anyways, the way in which they spread this news to David's loved ones was through one of his children's Facebook pages, where she wrote a tribute to her dad. The post read, "Rest in peace, Daddy. I will never stop thinking about you. Why is life so unfair? Why you? You were going to be a grandfather, and you still had your whole life ahead of you. I love you, we love you, and we will never forget you." After this was posted, a fake funeral was set for the following day, and his loved ones of course attended, many of them in distraught. No matter what, they would have never been prepared for what was about to happen though. David appeared in front of his entire family, alive and in the flesh, flying down on a helicopter in what he thought would be a dramatic and grand entrance revealing that he's not actually dead. Instead, it was a painfully slow process of the helicopter coming down, and all of his family members had to sit there looking up at it, trying to make sense of what was happening. Now, of course, David's loved ones didn't take this very well, and neither did anyone online after this TikTok was posted. Pretty much everyone who stumbled upon his post in this story when it started circulating had something negative to say about it, and David ended up taking it down and saying he was ashamed that he did this, most likely because of the response he got. Now, last but certainly not least, we have the most infamous example of YouTubers that faked their deaths in history. ExtremeGamez is a YouTube channel run by the brothers Thomas and Jonathan, and they were talked about extensively by loads of different popular channels back in 2018 due to their infamous videos where they faked their deaths. Like the Dobre Twins, we shouldn't expect too much from ExtremeGamez, as their content is very child-focused, and these two brothers also don't seem very bright. But unlike the Dobre Twins, they for some reason didn't choose to ignore this controversy and ended up making it even worse for themselves. Back when they had just over 4 million subscribers, they released a video titled, "We're quitting YouTube because we're dying, not clickbait." In this video, one of the brothers started it off by saying he was dying and he had been suffering from kidney disease. He then immediately followed this up by saying they will be doing a giveaway in honor of his death, begging the young impressionable children watching to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, which is obviously a little confusing since they claim that they are dying, and subscribing and turning on notifications wouldn't really benefit them in any way if they do indeed die, but that's not important. What is important is that he claimed that his body physically couldn't move because of the immense pain he was in from his kidney disease, and then his brother finally chimes in by asking their viewers to do a prayer for them because apparently he was dying too, or something like that. Anyways, a couple of weeks after this video was posted, they released a follow-up titled, "He sings for his dying brother, don't cry, sad face." In this video, one of the brothers claimed that they were quitting YouTube unless their doctor can heal them, and they plug another giveaway they were doing yet again. This video then goes a very weird direction where they go and see a chiropractor to apparently help their problem, and the chiropractor then goes on a spiel about why vaccinations are bad for you. Overall, very strange situation, especially since the main viewership of these guys were no doubt 4-year-olds, and all of this being thrown at these young impressionable children definitely isn't very good for them at all. But then they made yet another video on this situation a couple of weeks later titled, "The Truth About Us Dying for Views." This video was easily the most idiotic yet, where they try to prove everyone making videos on their fake disease wrong, and the quote-unquote information they provide make them come across literally brain dead. Nonetheless, these guys somehow managed to continue getting support from their very young audience, even after these videos were posted, and although everyone else on the internet completely shit on them, they still continued on on as if nothing happened, not once backing down from claiming they were dying. They are still posting horrible clickbait videos to this day, although their viewership is a lot smaller now, but they're unfortunately still continuing to brainwash thousands of children. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment down below your thoughts on any of the YouTubers that I discussed in this video, and subscribe if you would like to see more like this one. Thank you again, and goodbye.